Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on the map Silent Sea with a 1v1 of two legends when it comes to bar. We have Raghna in red playing Cortex today in the top right, and in the bottom left we have Mr. rAndy in blue playing Cortex as well. Now, we've not seen this map in a while, and as you can see, it's pretty difficult to get early raids in because there's no land connection between the two players. We're expecting these corners are only cappable via air, so it makes it a bit harder to get to, as neither player really wants to start air because the air constructors are pretty weak. But we do see a slight difference here to begin with rAndy at the bottom starting off with a bot lab, whereas Raghna has started with a vehicle lab. Being a vehicle lab does here give him access to amphibious constructors and also these gar pikes, which are amphibious tanks. Whether he'll actually use them or not, that's a completely different question. You would think that, seeing as there's quite a few metal spots in the water, if you're not going to go into Navy, you would maybe think about using that amphibious constructor. Tidal is not very good on this map. As you can see, it's 11, whereas wind goes up to 18. Looks like it's probably going to stay around that 17 mark though. So yeah, Tidal's probably not worth the investment. Now, it's been a while since we've seen Andy and Raghna on the channel, to be honest with you. Raghna's been quite a while. So who's gonna win? Let me know in the comments who you think's gonna win. While you're there, hit that subscribe button, because we're so close to 3,000. So close. Now, in these early stages, actually, what we're gonna do is, due to the fact that this early stage is basically going to be both players ecoing up for 5 minutes, let's go ahead and speed this forward a little bit. You know what, we can actually probably even go to 3 times. Now, being zoomed out here, we can see Raghna's built a couple of scouts. This will just be to protect from any sort of hovercraft harass, like at least to provide vision that it's coming, so that he can either push something out the factory really quickly. Andy has chosen here to go for radars instead and go straight into the water. As you can see, he's already reclaimed his vehicle lab, bot lab rather, and Raghna has actually reclaimed his vehicle lab as well. And we did see one amphibious guy. Can the amphib con get up there? It doesn't look like he can. That's pressing F2 for the transversability mode to be able to see the travel. And this missile track causing Raghna some problems. He's trying to build walls around it, but not really doing enough here to stop that. This is only one guy so far. First time I've actually seen walls used for something actually practical. And Raghna building a bot lab now as well. This will take a while for that to go down. But this missile ship is able to hit. Wow, it's able to hit pretty much all of the mexes. I don't know if they can get any further forward, but it outranges that laser tower. And that's going to be pretty bad here for... as though just saying, move the boat to here, then you can shoot it. Oh, Raghna actually going for a Tech 2 transition straight away. He literally built the bot lab with the intention of going straight into Tech 2. A bit ballsy. He doesn't have much in the way of energy or method income. Surely this wind as well could be taken out by the missile boats. No. And that That amphibious guy did actually manage to make it up here, even though it's red around here. You would think that wouldn't be the case. Good to know. And this harass is just causing problems for Raghna. Now, not only has assault frigate turned up, that's going to make pretty short work of those walls. But look at all the missile frigates, I guess you can call them. Corvettes, aren't they? Corvettes that have showed up. There you go, and there goes pretty much all those metal extractors. And I hope Raghna's got some form of plan for this, because if he's just going to be out of the game already, 7 minutes in. He is building bed bugs. That's a unit you don't see too often. Amphibious crawling bombs. To be fair, if those get in the water, it's going to be pretty difficult for these things to shoot, because Andy has no underwater firing whatsoever. It's a good job that Raghna got this top right hand corner, because otherwise he'd be pretty screwed. Will the bed bugs make it into the water though? One doesn't. But it has forced Andy away. Is Andy aware that they're there? He is. He has nothing that can stop them, and now he's rushing out a destroyer in order to deal with that. Gets the construction vehicle though. That will stop any radar being built, or sonar rather. Raghna really needs to get into the water somehow, somewhere. Andy's done a great job at just positioning forces pretty much anywhere he would expect Raghna to go. Raghna, though, with that transition to Tech 2, he is getting his economy up. Whereas you can see here, Andy still only on Tech 1. Now what? What's the plan, Raghna? Gonna go back to 2 times speed. Ducks. Sending them in single file though is a bit of a risky move, really. That duck's gonna get killed pretty quickly versus the destroyer. These ducks haven't hit anything yet. Great little bit of micro there from Andy. Surprised I didn't send a single duck over here to deal with this guy that's basically stopping, you know, a metal point, maybe 2 metal points from being used. Oh, Raghna prepping some build power here on the shore, as he finally looks like he's trying to get into the water. Even building some jellyfish torpedo defenses here. Meanwhile, surprisingly, rAndy has been pushed right back. Interesting that he's going to go that far back just because of some ducks. And still not taking out this MVP herring over here with 11 kills so far. Now the duck can obviously go on land, and it being Tech 2 might cause Andy some problems if he didn't already have 7 shurikens. Now with these assault frigates being spotted of Raghna's, Andy is now aware that somewhere Raghna is in the sea. If we actually select Andy here, he is not aware where that is. And Andy does manage to get this guy here, that duck. Oh, and a little mistake may have caused him to lose the top corner as well, as this amphibious constructor rushes to build this laser tower before this one does, but that is not gonna happen. Now Raghna in a bit of a problem here. He's trying to amass a bit of a navy, but Andy's been doing this for a while now, and Raghna's only just started to get some ships out. Saying that though, he has a pretty good thing at the moment. And yeah, that one LLT has managed to secure this top section pretty effectively. Both players being Cortex, they basically obviously have the same tools. Question is, how are you going to use them? We can see down here a bombing run being prepared by Andy. Building a resurrection sub. Just to get the reclaim. Interesting choice. Oh, is this LLT going to take out that construction aircraft? That would be funny if that's the case. They're trying to secure this front a little bit. He is getting the reclaim from all the boats, which is a good thing. He's also obviously on Tech 2 when his opponent is still on Tech 1 economy. And there goes that construction aircraft in the top corner. When it comes to sheer quantity of ships, we've got 16 to 8 right now. Raghna desperately needs more navy. He is sending ships a different direction. Oh, here comes the bomber. Doesn't manage to get the construction ship, surprisingly. But he is going to get Raghna's build power. And all the build power that was trying to get him back into the sea has not lasted at all. I mean, the Tech 2 metal extractors, though, not going down from a single bombing run. Surviving quite well, actually. And now that the AA has arrived, it'll be a little more difficult. But look at the sheer quantity of ships that Andy has. Raghna is having to run for it. His army will buy Raghna's time to get out of the water at least, but surely Andy knows that he needs to transition over to Tech 2. Try to forcefully get this last ship out, but it's not going to happen, as there goes the shipyard. And the jellyfish actually doing a little bit of work here. And rather than keep his forces back here to try and defend, he's actually sending them on the attack now. Being the fact that they're assault frigates, I don't know how much damage they're going to be able to inflict. And also by going around this side. And he's just taken the shortcut to intercept. Now the reclaim here being gotten by Andy. And Andy now choosing to go to Tech 2 finally. Almost 10 minutes after Raghna went Tech 2. Which is quite surprising that he's leaving it that late. You see Raghna with 2 energy converters right now. And when you look at economy wise, Raghna is significantly ahead, but game sense wise, he's really not. Andy has been in very, very strong control of the sea, and being the sea makes up the majority of this map, that's what you need to be in control of. The problem is for Andy, he's not really able to deal any form of killing blow, or even just significant economy damage. The bombing run he did really didn't do much other than kill some build power. And if Raghna's left alone, he will, with all of the more economy he has, be able to build up pretty quickly. You can actually see a Tech 2 artillery being built here by a bunch of Twitchers, as well as a bombing run.
Game paused. Game
and once this
started.
is finished, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for Andy to actually contest outside of Raghna's base. Now that torpedo defense does finally get killed, but here goes the bombers. The air units, the Herring did spot the bombers. We can see air defenses have already been built quite a lot around the base. Some really good chain reactions going off there. A lot of windmills get taken out, as well as energy converters, as the bombers come around for another pass. Getting a mixture here of even more staggered wins. No metal extractors taken out though just yet. And that's a lot of wind power that's just been destroyed. And as you can see, energy per second 600% now behind Raghna, who has been at Tech 2 for a while and already has 2 fusions. Meanwhile, Andy now desperately trying to rebuild as much wind as possible. But he has been stone-aged when it comes to energy production. And because of that, you can actually see Andy now having to build a metal storage. As we quickly check here, you can see his metal excess is ticking up by the second. And here comes a second bombing run to try and clear out this bottom right corner. Not really that much there, other than, you know, some metal extractors. They do manage to get both metal extractors and pretty much all of the wins. Going apparently back round, I don't think that's being microed at all. But look here, as the Twitchers themselves are just going straight into building destroyers. Build power here, and rather than, you know, rebuilding the shipyard, just straight up building the ships. Who needs a shipyard when you've got Twitchers? But with this artillery now, it's going to be difficult for Andy to do much. This positioning of his navy is to try and do something with this up there, but we've got Tech 2 defenses now on Raghna's side, as well as all of the Tech 2 economy. And meanwhile, Andy's still on mostly Tech 1. Have some shurikens as well to try and get some EMPs off. And I say there's only that one herring left. Otherwise they have no air defense. And both players forced into a bit of an economy phase again. Oh, and Raghna going straight to Tech 2 ships now. Using the Twitcher to build the construction ship, which goes straight into Tech 2. But a lot of saved metal there and time just by doing that, rather than having to build the Tech 1 factory, get it out, then go and build the thing. Going straight into cruisers And look how quick that cruiser is coming out of the build power. It's taking, what, let's see. Cruiser, oh, he's changed it. But about 6 seconds for a flak frigate, so now Andy is panicking. He sees Tech 2 on the horizon. He's let
Game paused.
Raghna get
Game
back
started.
into the water. And now Andy desperately needs to be pumping out ships if he wants to stay in the water. And a battleship is being churned out as well by Raghna. The slow Raghna game seems to have been paying off for him. Getting that early Tech 2 and then just kind of sitting back. He tried to contest the sea, but realistically he didn't contest it too much. To then just focus purely on getting his economy up. And that has paid off very, very well. I don't quite know what this air transport's planning on doing here. Bit odd. But not only is there a huge amount of shurikens with the battleship up and running. Oh, the Scuttle amphibious bomb will cause problems. Even an anti-nuke. Ah, with radar and sonar. These cruisers have a lot of torpedoes. They're going to be able to hit this. Great micro. Bomb doesn't connect. And this battleship is going to make pretty short work of Andy's army. He did manage to do some damage, but realistically, there's now 4 cruisers. Andy having to run for the hills. Doesn't matter if he had shurikens or anything. He's trying to go for the crawling bombs, the scuttles, but doesn't look like Andy is much longer for this world. Shurikens do come in but get taken down very quickly. And as that spectator says, rest in peace, Andy. Very much so. Raghna pulling a pretty decent comeback here, considering he was very heavily crushed in the early game. He managed to somehow get back. Can't even build anything from that Tech 2 factory. And there goes the build power. And he's not giving up just yet. Don't know what his plan is, as there's now 2 battleships firing on him, as well as a 3rd coming in from the side. Trying to build that pop-up artillery, but that is not going to do anything as this 3rd battleship comes down. And well, that hit the last of the economy of Andy. Even missile ships coming out from Raghna now. Andy, do you have any plans up your sleeve here? Not sure if that's the kind of appropriate target to shoot straight away. Just a pop-up. And here goes the fusions. And with that, Andy calling the GG. Well played, Raghna. It looks like he was very much being pressured onto the island, and because Andy only had ships, choosing to use that time to just eco up and do whatever he wants. Just sat ecoed really, really early compared to Andy. Andy took ages before he went Tech 2, and that just gave the economy to just steamroll Andy with Tech 2. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.